be playing, then we're definitely going to have to, prep for him. He's another guy that could just score 30 points in his sleep. And, everybody knows who he is, and for sure we're going to have to prep for him.
Cece, what did we learn last night about how much the Warriors need Kevin Durant? Or did we not learn anything?
Well, this is the thing. And Nick has said it best. Kevin Durant has always been a luxury. But even if we look at Kevin Durant as a luxury, we know he's one of the best players. And on the biggest stages, this is the things that we know. We're not guessing. Siakam, man, we're guessing what he's going to do. Kawhi, it's been a few years since he's been back in the finals. We kind of know, but we don't know. Man, Kevin Durant in the NBA Finals, we have seen in the last 2 years when the best player, LeBron James in the world, him, Steph Curry, and KD on the same court, Kevin Durant was the best player. So regardless of scheme, regardless of anything else, that right there exists. And just imagine what it would take out of Kawhi, because Kawhi was not as healthy as I thought he was going to be. He was laboring a little bit with that leg. So between him, Siakam, Serge Ibaka coming off the bench, all of them would have to rotate. Danny Green, he wouldn't be able just to guard Steph. All of them would have to guard KD. So in the back of your mind, when you go on the court, you have all these game plans for assignments for all these different guys. But now Kevin Durant, who I believe is the hardest one to guard because you can have perfect defense and he can still fill it up on you. You don't have to go to that right now, but you can believe with Nick Nurse, with that coaching point, we're going to run on them. They have the Kevin Durant scheme already, and they know it's going to take a bunch of guys. They feel better that he is not playing. Trust me, guys won't admit it. They don't want to play against Kevin Durant. They want to beat this team that they beat in game number 1, Nick.
I knew this was coming assuming the Warriors didn't sweep, which nobody thought they were going to. The moment the Warriors were to lose a game, whether it was game 1, game 2, game 3, the question was going to be, posed, see, they got to have Kevin Durant. Like, this is what since they hadn't lost since he went down. They need Kevin Durant to be unbeatable. They don't need Kevin Durant to beat you. There's a distinction there. With Kevin Durant, this team has an air of invincibility, that they can overcome a bad Clay game, that they can overcome an Andre Iguodala injury.
Draymond Green said before game number 1, there's 2 different identities that the Warriors have. One, when Kevin Durant walks into the arena, he said they know they're going to win. He don't care what it looks like. He don't care how they start the game, how many shots the other team makes, how bad they're playing defensively. They know they're going to win. He said when Kevin Durant's not with us, we think we can win, but we don't know how we're going to win. And I thought that was very insightful.
Hey, listen, the idea that because they lost last night, which, by the way, what they became last night was the 14th out of the last 15 times the road team has lost game 1 of the NBA Finals. They were the Vegas underdog, and they lost the game. They cut it to 3 one time early in the 4th quarter. Other than that, Toronto controlled that game. The idea that all of a sudden the pendulum should flip all the way to, well, if KD doesn't come back, they can't beat this team. I just don't buy it. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay, so but what if you break it down a little more than that and take the micro view? Would he have been able to stop Pascal Siakam last night? Could he have slowed down what Siakam could have done underneath the bucket there?
Siakam can't concentrate on the offensive end because of Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is the most efficient, great scorer that we've seen. He can get you a bucket to be able to stop. He can, those substitution patterns. There were times where Clay was the only shooter on the court. You don't have that. Like, let's give respect to who Kevin Durant is. That's why I don't like the numbers that they run out there as far as, oh, Golden State without Kevin Durant. Well, how many times were they playing against elite competition? When people say, well, they won those last 5 games, I thought Milwaukee and Toronto were a lot better than Houston and the Portland Trailblazers.
Well, I certainly think they're a lot better than Portland. And listen, but that knife cuts both ways. Would Kevin Durant have been able to help them last night? It certainly appears so. Would Steph Curry have had 33 points in the second half of Game 6 against the Rockets if Durant were out there? I don't think so. So there is an element of that we know, and what the numbers say is they can beat you without KD.
Yeah.
What the numbers say is they don't have to have KD to win. The numbers actually say they're better without him. I don't believe that to be true. I think there is some noise in that, more noise than signal. But they clearly can win this championship if he never plays again. They are more likely to win it if he does play again. So if the question is, did last night show us that the Warriors need him? They want to have him. I'll say it until he's not there anymore. He is the greatest luxury in sports history, but we know what a luxury is, and we know what a necessity is. Steph Curry is a necessity for this team. Kevin Durant's a luxury that they would have liked to have last
You
night.
got Jordan Bell starting at center. Jordan Bell's 1 for 2. He plays 11 minutes. Draymond Green's 2 for 9. Draymond don't have to shoot 9 times if Kevin Durant's there. Iggy's 3 for 7. Plays almost 30 minutes. Draymond plays almost 40 minutes. They don't play those minutes if KD is there. It's impossible for them to be a better team without Kevin Durant.
Jonas Jerebko doesn't come into the game if Kevin Durant's there. Like there is, and the other element is when the trade-off they made when they went and got KD was they sacrificed their depth. So we don't live in the alternative universe of when KD's out, they get that depth back. When the KD goes out, they lose what they lost to go get him, and they don't have his production. But they are the idea that because they lost one game, the first game, the biggest game in Raptors history, the first time they've ever had an NBA Finals start on the road, that now all of a sudden we should think they can't beat this team or any team without Kevin Durant. I don't buy it.
Okay, that's one game. But if they go down 0-2, then is it a different conversation? Then do you maybe look and say, okay, maybe you're not 100%, but when you think you can get back out there, we could use you?
Jenna, the number one reasons you and I picked Toronto was because we weren't expecting Kevin Durant to be there.
Right.
So we have it included in the equation. Even though other people, they might not include it. But you can guarantee you let them go down 0-2, going back to Oracle. They're already in territory they've never been in. They've always, 1-0, let's go 2-0. Like, that's what they're used to. So that should be the conversation. Kevin Durant has helped them get in a position where they can three-peat. He is not there. The most logical question is, if Kevin Durant would have been there, do you think it would have been different? And Siakam can't play that way because he's got to spend so much energy on KD.
They go down 0-2 without Kevin Durant. They're in absolutely foreign territory to them. I'll tell you territory they have been. They've been down 3-1 without Kevin Durant against Kevin Durant, and they won that series. So again, I'm not gonna overreact. After they swept Portland, I didn't say this proves Kevin Durant makes them worse.
Right.
And I'm not gonna say after game 1 this proves they can't win without KD.
All right, let's take a break. Coming up, is Siakam just scratching the surface of his abilities? Next on First Things.